So you've probably seen the headlines about India's economy, right? The growth numbers are just staggering. But what's really going on behind those figures? Today, we're going to pop the hood and take a look at the actual machinery that's driving this incredible transformation. All right, here's the number that's got everyone's attention. 8.2%. That's the real GDP growth for the second quarter of the 2025-26 financial year. It's a six-quarter high, and honestly, no other major economy in the world is even coming close to that right now. But here's the key thing. This isn't just some random lucky streak. As experts at places like the Observer Research Foundation are pointing out, this is the payoff from years of really deep and sometimes difficult structural reforms. That tough adjustment period, it's over. And now we're starting to see the results? Okay, so if we think about the economy as this high-performance engine, what's actually making it roar? That's what this explainer is all about. We're going to zero in on two absolutely critical gears in that machine. First, the physical world of concrete that's literally building the new India. And second, the legal and digital code that's completely rewriting the rules for how markets and capital work. All right, let's get into it. That huge headline number, that 8.2%, what is actually powering it? So check this out. The wild thing here isn't just the growth itself, it's the acceleration. We're talking about a jump from 5.6% to 8.2% in just a single year. It's like the economy just shifted into a whole other gear, really slamming the pedal to the floor. That shows some serious momentum. And that momentum didn't come from nowhere. It's built on a solid foundation of nationwide reforms over the last decade. You've got the GST, which took a super complicated tax system and made it one. Then there's the bankruptcy code, which, for the first time, gave struggling businesses a clear way to exit. And of course, the massive revolution in digital payments, which has brought literally hundreds of millions of people into the formal economy. Okay, so a big number on a screen is one thing. But how does that growth actually translate into the real world, into stuff you can see and touch? Well, that brings us to our first major gear in the engine, cement. I mean, it's the literal building block of a country's infrastructure. And you can see a huge strategic shift happening right here in this core industry. You know, for years, the game was all about making splashy headlines by buying your competitors. But now, the focus has completely changed. It's moved to something way less sexy, but way more important. The relentless, day-in, day-out operational grind of cutting costs and becoming as efficient as possible. And because of this new focus, the market is consolidating like crazy. Just take a look at South India. A couple of years ago, the top 5 companies had less than half the market. Today, that's shot up to over 62%. This kind of concentration gives them massive economies of scale, which basically means the bigger you are, the cheaper you can make stuff. And that gives them a ton of control over the market. And believe me, the big players are not taking their foot off the gas. Ultratech is aiming for a jaw-dropping 240 million tons of capacity by 2028. Adani's Ambuja Cements is targeting 155 million. They're not just building for today's demand, they are making a massive bet on what India is going to need tomorrow. Okay, so that's the concrete. Now let's shift gears and look at the code. While concrete is building the physical highways, a whole new legal code is being written to upgrade the financial highways, the pathways that money travels on. You know, for the longest time, India's financial markets have been run on this total patchwork of old laws. Some of them go all the way back to the 1950s. So what's happening now is this huge cleanup effort. The government is planning to take these 3 separate, often overlapping and kind of clunky laws and merge them all into one single modern rulebook. But here's the thing. This isn't just about tidying up some old laws. When you combine 3 rulebooks into one, you also combine all of that power into one place. And that, well, that raises a really big and important question. So this new code would essentially give the market regulator, that SEBI, a whole lot more authority. And that has kicked off a really critical debate, because while more power might make for a more effective regulator, the question everyone is asking is, who's watching the watchdog? So you've got 2 camps, right? On one side, people are saying, look, this is great. It gets rid of confusion, it protects investors better, and it brings the laws into the 21st century. But on the other side, critics are waving some pretty serious red flags. They're worried about too much power in one place, they're asking why there wasn't more public discussion, and they're arguing for stronger checks and balances to make sure SEBI itself is held accountable. So let's bring it all together. You've got these 2 massive engines revving up, super efficient industries on one side, and a streamlined modern financial system on the other. How do they work together? Well, a simpler financial system makes it easier for those industrial giants to raise money to expand. And a booming infrastructure sector creates real, tangible assets that give the market confidence. It's a powerful feedback loop. So, what should we be watching for over the next few years? Well, there are a few key things. In the cement world, it's all about absorbing this huge wave of new supply while doubling down on cutting costs. And at the same time, on the global stage, India is pushing hard to sign new trade deals with over 50 countries, looking to plug its super-efficient industries into brand new markets. So when you step back and look at the big picture, all the pieces really seem to be falling into place. The industrial engine is being rebuilt for maximum efficiency, and the financial rules of the road are being completely rewritten for the modern era. And that leaves us with one massive, powerful question for the future. Just how fast can this thing really go? Hey, if you got something out of this deep dive into India's economy, it would be awesome if you could like, share, and subscribe. But more importantly, what do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a real conversation going. Thanks so much for watching.